going on, Tricology family, and welcome back to another episode of the Tricology News Talk. Today, we got a movie review for you guys today, and a couple of mainstream news to talk about. It might be short, but still newsworthy news. So, without further ado, let's get into our first mainstream topic for today. Is that Spider-Man Into the Beyond the Spider-Verse has been delayed indefinitely. So, in case y'all didn't know, we did talk about the productions that have been affected by the writer's strike, and later on that week, Sony has shifted some of their release dates. So now, if I had to take a guess on when the Beyond the Spider-Verse might be released, I would say the latest 2025. The latest. Depends on how long the strike goes on. But let's read this story here. Spider-Verse fans will have to wait a little bit longer to see Miles Morales' next adventure. With both the Writers Guild of America and SAG-AFTRA still on strike, Sony has plans to move the release dates for several of its upcoming films. Perhaps the most notable announcement is that the third Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, is moving from its planned March 2024 release date to now is undated TBA. Pure Sony's several different dates are being considered. Depends on how long the strike lasts. So like I said, as we go into 2024, expect to see a lot of changes and a lot of non-blockbuster movies to not be released by then. But we'll see how that goes. And as far as the Beyond the Spider-Verse, I got no problem waiting another year for it, because quality over quantity. If they make this thing really, really good, just like the first two films, then the whole Spider-Verse will be a classic. Mark my words. Moving on. Barbie scores one of the biggest second weekends in history. So, let's go through the list of movies that have scored amount of money during their second week. So, Barbie is looking at 162 million. The Super Mario Brothers came in at 146 million in its second weekend. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse had 120 million in its second week. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 had 118 million in its second week. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania at 106 million. The Little Mermaid had 95 million. Oppenheimer had 82 million. And then John Wick Chapter 4 has 73 million. So, it's just a matter of what movie is going to be released after this first weekend and what competition which other movies will have when it comes to like each other the box office we go on. But I think the real question is we need to know is that will Barbie make $1 billion? Will it reach where the Super Mario Brothers is at? That's the question we're looking for. And we'll get to more Barbie in a second. Disney, it stopped sales of physical media in Australia. Let's read this article here. Disney will no longer be releasing DVDs or Blu-rays in Australia, striking a major blow against the physical media. Despite putting their theatrical content on their streaming services on Disney Plus, after running in the cinemas, Disney has continued to release physical media for all their films. This will allow fans of Disney to keep physical collections of their favorite films will have to be relying on streaming services. But I think Australia will still have the video on demand, and then also purchase the video on demand stuff on iTunes and all that other stuff. I think they'll still have that because they never mentioned they were stopping video on demand stuff. They never mentioned that, so I think Australia will still have that. So they will be fine. But could you continue on with the story? Now that the Digital Bits report that Disney won't be selling DVDs or Blu-rays in Australia following the release of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in August. This story was corroborated by 7 News, which said that once existing DVDs and Blu-rays were sold out in Australia. That's kind of interesting there, but yeah, like I said, long as they still have video on demand, they will be fine. They'll be absolutely fine. So moving on to our next story is outrage over Barbenheimer memes erupted. So let's read what Deadline has to say. The statement posted on Japan's own Barbie account, where it has been liked 75,000 times, read at the translation. We consider it extremely regrettable that the official account of the American headquarters for the movie Barbie react to social media postings of Barbenheimer fans. We take this situation very seriously. Man, we already knew there was going to be some trouble at in the overseas and international market. We already knew that. So ain't that much to go from there. But continue on with the story. As we asking for U.S. headquarters to take the appropriate action, we apologize for those who are offended by this series of incorrect reactions. That was coming from Warner Brothers, the Japan. Man, what else can we say? Because we already knew that was gonna happen. But moving on to our next story. Stephen Amell, aka the Green Arrow, criticizes the strike and SAG actors turning on each other. Let's see what he had to say. I feel like a nostalgia in Hollywood because that's where I live, he began. I felt that a lot of people in this room aren't unaware of the strike. I support my union. I do. I stand with them. But I do not support the striking. I don't. Okay. I heard from some YouTubers saying that this wasn't the right time to do the strike because of Hollywood not making a lot of money since the pandemic of 2020. Now, I get that. I understand that. But they still have bounced back since last year. How could they still not be making more money by then? But I can't. I don't know what's going on. I don't be in the boardroom, so that's not my place to say. But all I'm saying is, just pay the writers. Like I said, they should have just paid the writers in the first place. Then we will be having this problem. But hey, it is what it is. But continue on with the story. He continues saying, I think that is a reductive negotiation tactic. I find the entire thing incredibly frustrating. I think that is thinking as pertains to show like this show Heels that be on Stars. That's a wrestling based drama show that I am on that premiering last night. I think it's homophobic, and I stand with my union. Now, according to the writers and the actors, you know who is rich and who is not rich because they stated that one actor in particular said that many of us are not rich. Many of us don't live in L.A. Many of us don't live in New York. We live in a certain state or city, and that I completely understand. And so one other actor showed like, these are the checks that we be getting from certain studios that are based on the roles that we play. So you kind of get the idea where Hollywood is at. This ever since 2020, but it's tough times, man. But let's see where we hope we can bounce back from that. Moving on, Billy D. Williams hit that he will be returning to Star Wars. So, in case y'all didn't see the last Star Wars, he is basically the last OG standing from the original Star Wars. But let's read this story here saying, I am thrilled to share that something truthfully magnificent is coming soon. This is a dream come true for me. Making sure the eligible notification for stories and posts to stay in the loop. You do not want to miss this. May the force be with you all. Hey, at least we get one of the last OGs coming back for the latest new trilogy in the Star Wars saga. But yeah, hopefully we get some more news on that as well. Here are the list of actors that gave at least 1 million to the striking actors. So we have our list here of list of actors that have supported the writers and actors strike. So here are the lists here: George George Clooney and his wife, Matt Damon and his wife, Leonardo DiCaprio, Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Ferguson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Nicole Kidman, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, Julia Roberts, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Meryl Streep, and Oprah Winfrey. So that kind of shows you they are in support of the strike, and that's what we like to see. So moving on, I got a tweet here coming from Cultural Crave saying that the studios will be sitting down with the WGA on Friday to try to put the strike to an end. So once we get that update, I'll let you know what you guys hear. So let's hope something good come out of this. But moving on. Wonder Woman 3 is being developed by Gal Gadot and James Gunn. So I know James Gunn want to keep certain actors from the Snyderverse into the new DCU. But let's read this story here saying from comicbook.com saying, speaking to the comicbook.com, to promote her new Netflix movie Heart of Stone, Gal Gadot mentioned that how DC Studios boss James Gunn and Peter Safran have reportedly told her that Wonder Woman 3 has not been scrapped yet. I love portraying Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot said. It's so close to and dear to my heart. From what I heard from James Gunn and Peter Safran, that we are developing Wonder Woman 3 together. That's going to be very interesting. How they're going to do the story there into the new DCU. Now, will Patty Jenkins will be involved? I don't know. I don't think so, unless James Gunn reach out to her. But we'll see how that goes there. So, as I said, we was going to be back talking about Barbie. So, Barbie has passed Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and outpacing Super Mario Brothers. So, let's look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and the Super Mario Brothers worldwide box office numbers. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which I think is the best Marvel movie this year because all the other Marvel projects this year has been trash. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has ended with 847 million. And then, of course, the Super Mario Brothers has reached $1 billion, $1 billion as well. So let's look at the current numbers that Barbie is looking at right now. So in its worldwide box office number, Barbie is sitting at 823 million so far. So, like I said before, can Barbie reach $1 billion? We don't know yet. So, but as good as these numbers here, I do believe that we might get more um movies that's focused on the Mattel series. Like I heard rumors that they might do a Crayon movie. They was gonna do a Monopoly movie. They was gonna do a Uno movie, Hot Wheels, and all that stuff. So if Barbie could do a lot of good numbers there, like I said, if it could reach $1 billion, then those profits would definitely be in the loop. But let's see what the future holds. And continue. And we have our last story here. So, should DC have the Snyderverse and Guns universe happen at the same time? Well, we got 4 facts here trying to explain its solution on why it should not happen. So, number 1 says the expensive resources. Number 2, it's undermining the new DCEU. Number 3, Warner Brothers will be competing with itself. And number 4, the current DCEU is a complete failure. Now, I don't think it should not exist at the same time because they should have stick with the Snyderverse and then try to make it better. But like we are here now. The reboot is happening. So in case y'all didn't know, Blue Beetle will be the first the DCU character, despite it being a DCEU movie. But Blue Beetle will be moving on to the DCU's universe, and then we'll have our first DCU movie with Superman Legacy. So it is what it is, but we got them move on from that. But that's all the news that we have for you today. So let's get into our movie review for you guys today, and that's on the Meg 2, The Trench, which is based on the first movie, The Meg, in 2018, and of course it also stars Jason Statham. And like the previous film, it follows a group of scientists who must outrun and outswim the entire Mandalores, which includes sharks and everything. And when the massive mine operating threats to their mission, it forced them to go in a high-stakes battle for survival. Now, when it comes to the shark movies, the very first shark movie that I saw was Jaws, and that was a horror blockbuster, horror summer blockbuster movie that you would watch on a 4th of July weekend. So yeah, that was the first Jaws movies I saw, and then the other shark movie that I absolutely loved, that I feel that the guilty pleasure, was the Deep Blue Sea, and that was with Samuel Jackson and LL Cool J. So those are the only 2 shark movies that I love. All the other shark movies that they had was not existing for me. I didn't care too much about none of them until I saw the Meg. Now, with the Meg, this is very, very, very different from the other shark movies that you see, because when you look at shark movies, yeah, you would look at it as a horror film. Now, the direction that they took with the Meg is that it still had its horror elements, but it's kind of like an action film, and you just love seeing Jason Statham. He even punched a shark in the first movie. Like, you just love to see over the top crazy nostalgia happen. Now, let me tell you something. The Meg and The Meg 2 is one of those movies that you have to turn off your brain and just watch for the fun of it, because this is like one of those blockbuster movies that you just love to see for the action and the over the top stuff that you see, because this is not one of those movie that is critically good, critically great. Okay, let me tell you some of that. Now, for the fan of it, it's not bad, and it's not that all great. It was good to watch and just to see some crazy stuff that happened in the movie. So that's all I can mention for that. But like I said, it is not critically great, but it is still fun to watch it in the theaters and to see a lot of crazy stuff happen. But so, with that being said, I would give this movie a C minus. That's what I would get. I'll give it a C minus because, like I said, it's not bad, but it's not great either. So it's very mid good. So to watch. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. If you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell when new episodes are uploaded. And don't forget to comment down below. What are your thoughts on this episode today? And also, if you're listening to me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or any other podcast streaming platform, don't forget to follow me there as well. But other than that, this is Trico, and I'm signing off, y'all. Peace.